Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. My name is Christina, and on my channel we talk all things beauty from my own experiences. So if you guys are looking for the best and most honest how-tos and reviews from a consumer's perspective, make sure you subscribe to my channel, like this video, and leave any comments that you have for me down below. I've done a video on this on TikTok, and I thought I would bring it over here to YouTube because I wanted to give you guys more of an in-depth video on the brand new possible dupe for the DYSON Airwrap. So far, I've been loving this thing, and it is the Ion Luxe 4-in-1 Airstyler. This is great, but it's also causing a lot of stir on TikTok. It's sold out, I think, twice already. So I'm going to show you guys all the information that I know about this product so far. I'm going to share a demo and show you how I do my own hair, and hopefully by the time this video comes up, they're working on a restock or they already restock it at Sally's. And then I'm going to share my final thoughts and everything that I've learned using this over the last couple weeks. So if you guys are interested in seeing all of that information, then just keep watching. This is available at Sally Beauty Supply, and I saw it on TikTok first from a creator named Jessie, and she's great. I will link the original video that I found in the description box down below, and then I went ahead and did a little TikTok showing me going to purchase it and my first reactions on it, and then I did a small tutorial on it, so I have a good grasp on how I like to use this product. So it is $149 at Sally's, and you can stack coupons on Sally's. So if you do an online pickup order, I think it's 15% off, and then if you sign up for their emails, I believe it's like 15% off. All I know is that there's a ton of coupons that you can stack for this product, so I would highly recommend doing that and save some money. And I actually saw the video, and within like the hour or two of seeing it, I already went to Sally's and bought it because I just had a really good feeling about it, you know? So this is the product right here. You get the device, which is I guess like a hair dryer, curling iron thing tool. You get the curling attachments. You also get a diffuser, which is really great, and then you get the blow dry nozzle. And you also get these little finger gloves. They're just like 3 fingers here, but it's perfect because it allows you to just slip it on and grab the attachments because they do get very hot. So I want to say at the beginning as well, I did notice the first like 2 times that I used this, there was a lot of smoke. I thought it was maybe steam because my hair was wet. I thought that maybe it could be smoke and it was burning the crap out of my hair. I don't know, but I went in and I read the user manual here, just trying to get some information, and apparently the heating coils have a protective coat, and my husband actually told me the reason for that is because brands or suppliers don't know how long their products are going to be in storage, so they make that protective coat so that something like the heating coils don't end up rusting or going bad. But the heat from the tool does end up kind of burning it, essentially. I know that sounds really harsh, but the coating does go away after a while. So that made me feel a lot better about possibly not burning the crap out of my hair, like burning it off. Rest assured, your hair should be okay as long as you protect it, and we're going to talk about that. So whenever you use this tool, you're going to want to make sure that your hair is damp. So essentially it is a hair dryer, you know, but when you use the curl attachments, it does dry your hair simultaneously. So you're not going to want to put any excess heat to it that you're not going to need. So the fact that your hair is already damp when you're using it and it's drying it as you're using it, you get, essentially, from what I can tell, you get 2 benefits. So it's blow drying your hair at the same time, so you're not doing a blow dry and then using a curling iron to curl your hair. So you're doing a 2-in-1. So you're always going to want to prep your hair at least with a heat protectant. Please protect your hair. This does get up to 250 degrees Fahrenheit, and that's when it's at its curl setting. That is the default. It stays at 250 when it's in the curl setting. I like to use a leave-in conditioner, a root lifter of some sort, and then a heat protectant and a finishing So I mean, I have a lot of products that I use with this, but I find that it's necessary if I want the style to last all day, or for me specifically, I can make it last up to 3 days, which is insane because with a regular curling iron recently, I found that I have to go in the next morning and like recurl if I want the curls. I've been using the Redken One United as like my prep spray. I also have been using the Fekkai one, which is really great. I have also been loving this Fekkai root lift. You only need a tiny amount of this or else your hair is going to feel like really greasy. But I like this. I spray this into my scalp and then I brush everything out. A heat protectant as well, the Living Proof one, which I forgot to grab. I'll go grab that. I've been using that and I really like that. And to finish it off, I have been going to my trusty, tried and true Bumble and Bumble Thickening Texturizing Spray. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna prep the hair. I already sprayed this into my hair. My hair is damp. I like to do it on freshly washed hair specifically, but I'm gonna take this, and like I said, you don't need a lot. I'm just gonna go boom on one side, boom on the other. Just kind of like get that in there, and then maybe right here in the back. And that's it. So I'm just gonna work that in with my fingers. And I'm just using a comb to comb my hair out and to evenly distribute that product. So there is a lock button right here at the bottom of the device. So it helps you to lock and unlock your attachments, which is great because then you know they won't come out. So you do have some settings here. You have how intense the fan is blowing, you have the heat settings, and then you have the cool and curl setting. So whenever you're using it as a curling iron, well, should I call it a curling iron? Whenever you're using the curl attachments, the only thing that you really have to worry about is this button, the cool and curl. So the cooling setting doesn't actually work when you're curling your hair. This is literally just to turn it on and turn it off. And this will obviously have to be on because that is the fan blowing, you know what I mean? But this is the only button that you worry about. All these other ones are essentially for when you're using it as a hair dryer. I like to get my hair about 90% dry before I go in with the curl attachments. And the reason for that is because one, the dampness of the hair is really going to help fight the frizz and lock in that moisture. And also two, you don't want to have an excess amount of heat on the hair, an excess amount of targeted heat on the hair. So you're not going to want to go in with soaking wet hair and take this and have it on there for like a minute straight, because that's just way too much heat at one time, you know? So I get it about 90% dry, and I find that's the best way for my hair to lock in the curl and keep it from getting super frizzy. So what we're going to do right now is just do a rough blow dry just to get, again, my hair about 90% dry. And during the blow drying process, this is the time when I like to kind of flip my hair upside down and blow dry it that way so that the root lift products really get in there and work. And I like to rough dry my scalp, especially because you can't get too close to the scalp when you're using the curl attachments. So keep that in mind. I like to mainly focus on my scalp and flip my hair over for some volume, and then I'll go down the lengths of my hair with the blow dryer. So now what I'm going to do is just release this here. It is kind of hot, so don't touch that without your finger gloves. As you can see, the curl attachments have arrows pointing in opposite directions, and this just tells you which direction the curls are going to go in. So I like to curl my hair away from my face with this, and also you hold it downwards. You can hold it up like this, but the air from the dryer kind of like pushes the hair up and away from the attachment, so it's a little more difficult. I think it's intended to be used this direction on the hair. So let me just stick this on here. So as you guys can see, the arrows are pointing in this direction. So I'm going to be using this one on this side of my head because this means the curls are going to wrap this way, and then this one is going to be for this side of my head. So I sectioned my hair out into, I think, 3 sections. So I'll do a bottom one, a middle, and a top section. I'm going to go ahead and split my hair into 2 sections, and then this top one is going to be 2 sections later on. And as you guys know, I do have a perm, so I do have a lot of a wave, but I love this because it straightens my hair and curls it at the same time. That sounds very odd, but if you have curly hair, you know that typically if you're going to go in with a curling iron, you have to get it straight first and then you have to curl it. Lots of heat, lots of stuff to go through. So I'm going to be using my Living Proof Heat Styling Spray on every section, and I'm just going to spray that down. This stuff is great, but the smell really makes me cough. It's a lot easier for me since I'm right-handed to kind of use the device this way, and sometimes I'll just go around this little bun section and I'll go to the back of my head and hold it that way. So what I like to do is I'll start off with it kind of facing downwards like this, and then as I get closer to my scalp, I'll hold it horizontal this way. Just be careful because this is shaped like a blow dryer. It is very different from, you know, a typical straight curling iron where you're just holding it like this all the time. So be wary of that. Don't burn yourself. I did burn myself the first time I used it, honestly, but you know, it's fine. It does take a little bit of time to get used to the direction of this. So because my hair is quite long, I like to feed the tip of my hair into the attachment and let it grab on first before I kind of wiggle my way up the rest of my hair. I find that's the best way to get an even curl on all the lengths of my hair. And then whenever I click the button again to stop it, I just release the hair by just dropping it down. And I like to let the curl set as I do the rest of my head, just so I can get the most out of my curl. I don't really mess with it. I know that if you want a looser curl, you can kind of just like run your fingers through it right away, but I'm gonna leave it for now. Do I want to leave it for now? Yeah, I'm gonna leave it for now. And then we're just gonna go in and I'll show you guys again. So I'm gonna allow the device to grab the tip of my hair and then work my way up. I'm gonna let it just release. Do I want to brush my fingers through my hair? So in my TikTok, I did just like leave the curls as is. I didn't really run my fingers through them, but I kind of want to run my fingers through sooner and get a looser curl. So this is kind of what happens if I kind of mess with the curl at first. So I'm just going to go through this whole section and I'll show you guys the next one. And I take about 1-inch sections, by the way, because I find that's the best way for all of my hair to grab on in each section. And I don't worry too much if my hair does kind of get loose on the attachment as I work my way up, because I kind of go up and down so that it can all evenly heat and all curl. Alright, so I'm about done with this side of this section, so now I'm going to change out the attachment here, and I'm going to grab my little finger gloves, stick them on right there, and you're going to want to use these to grab onto the attachment here. So I'm just pressing the unlock and lock button, setting that aside, and then I'm putting on that other side of the attachment. And now we're going to work on the right side of my head. All right, so now I want to kind of go over all of my thoughts, everything that I've gathered, everything that I think might be helpful for you guys if you end up purchasing this as well. So the first question that I'm sure people are going to ask is it a dupe for the Dyson Airwrap? Now, I tried my best to track down a Dyson Airwrap. I couldn't find one, and I didn't want to spend full price on Dyson's website for one. I want one, but I'm also like back and forth because the reviews are just so like, I love it, or it took me a while to figure out if I liked it, or I hated it, I ended up returning it. It's very hot and cold with the Dyson Airwrap, but for some reason it's still something that I'm drawn to. So the most information I can give you is based on reviews that I've watched extensively, because like I said, I've been looking into maybe purchasing one for myself. But yeah, it's just based on what I've heard, what I've seen, what I've read, all of that information. So the general idea of it, the fact that you have the air wrapping the hair in order to curl it, yeah, it's a dupe in that sense. I love that both of them are blow dryers as well as like curlers. This does get very hot. I can't speak on the terms of if it's going to damage your hair more or less than the Dyson. It does stay at 250 degrees Fahrenheit as you're curling. And I was thinking about it, and I'm always around the 300 Fahrenheit whenever I'm curling my hair with a curling iron. And I find that that's the best way to get good curls whenever I'm using a curling iron. So 250 degrees is a lot less heat than I typically would use for another, like a curling iron. And I think the reason for that is because the hot air is moving, it is circulating, so you are getting more of an even coverage of heat. So the curl, you know, you can actually curl your hair that way with less heat. So in turn, in my head, that means less damage. So it says on Google that the Dyson Airwrap does get up to 302 degrees Fahrenheit Fahrenheit. So it is a bit hotter, but that doesn't mean you have to use it at that heat temperature. Another difference, if we are comparing this to the new Dyson Airwrap, that one does have one attachment where if you click it on the top, it changes the direction of the curl. So you no longer need the two different barrels like this one does, the two different curl attachments. I know the old original Dyson Airwrap did have two separate ones that you would click on and off as well. So I'm reading it here on the website just to get a better understanding of what the Dyson Airwrap does come with now, this new one. So you do get the different barrels for curling. It does come with a smoothing attachment, a long Airwrap barrel that is 1.6 inches and then 1.2 inches. You do get a firm smoothing brush, a soft smoothing brush, a round brush as well. But you don't get a diffuser, whereas this one you do get the diffuser. You do get a lot more attachments for the Dyson Airwrap, but you are spending a lot more on the Dyson Airwrap, so I would hope that you would get more attachments, you know? Oh, I should note that the Airwrap is $600 versus this one, which is $150. From what I've heard, your curls with the Dyson Airwrap do last pretty long. My curls with this last a lot longer than with a curling iron. So I'd like to say that I think that's due to the fact that it is working as a hair dryer. Again, the hot air is circulating a lot more evenly and it is coating the hair a lot more and it's setting in that curl formation. So I think that has a lot to do with it. And because you're going from wet to dry hair, you're kind of setting your hair in that style. So I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that it is working as like a hair drying curling iron. So really, I think that it would be comparable. I can't see why not. The only main differences that I am seeing again with this new one is that you do get just the one attachment that you can change the direction on versus this one, and you get more accessories with the Dyson Airwrap. And also they do really tout the fact that it's less damaging to the hair. I don't know. I feel like as long as you're really protecting your hair, you're taking care of it, doing masks here and there, and also using heat protectant sprays, I feel like your hair shouldn't get too damaged with this. I don't know. I don't want to say it's not because I'm not entirely sure, but my hair seems to be doing just fine with it. Whew, hot. Okay, so I've finished curling all of my hair. Let me show you guys. Let me kind of show you guys what it's looking like here. So this is before I like finish it off, but this is what the curls look like. Super shiny, very, very bouncy and curly. You can see. So now what I'm going to do is just kind of finger comb through my hair before I go in with a texturizing spray. And I'm going to kind of go like this. As you guys know, I like a lot of volume. So I'm going to try to get some volume in there. Let me spray a little bit. I'm just finger combing, and you can keep it as curly as you want or finger comb through to get more of like a beachy wave. Completely up to you, what you're feeling like. Sometimes I'll keep it very curly, and then other days I'm just feeling like I want it to be more wavy. So I'm just gonna play with my hair until I kind of get it to where I want it. And you can also use an oil at this step too to bring in some shine as well. And this is what it's looking like after I kind of like comb through it with my fingers. All right, and then finishing it off with a big spray of this texturizing spray. And then if there are any pieces that you kind of want to perfect a little more, you can always go back in with it and just fix anything up if it's not like sitting right, you know? In terms of this specifically, not comparing it to the Dyson Airwrap, I really like this because one, like I said, when I have to curl my hair now, because my hair is wavy, I do have to blow dry it straight at least a little bit, and then I have to go in with a curling iron. This eliminates that blow drying it straight step. I can just go in, blow dry my hair to 90%, and then I can go in with this with the curl attachments and just curl my hair, because as it's curling, it is smoothing those strands and it's setting it in this curl versus my natural like wave. So I love that because it completely cuts down the time of styling for me with heat products or heat tools. So I love this for that reason alone. But I also love the fact that I can get curls that last days, and I don't have to touch up as much as I would if I'm using a regular curling iron. Also, it does take a little bit of practice, but I do find that you can get pretty good volume with this. You just kind of have to mess around with how you're holding it. So, you know, you saw me in the clips of me curling my hair. I'm kind of twisting it and turning it and getting it closer to the scalp and moving it over in some directions. You really just play around with what's most natural, what you find will give you the best curl. And also, depending on how intense you want the curl, you can decide how long it's going to be on the hair. So if I want a curl, like for instance, my curtain bangs, right? I didn't do these as long as the rest of my hair because I didn't want them as curly. So I kind of just got it to hold on to the attachment, pulled it up, and then turned it off. And I got a pretty decent, like, soft curl there. I like the fact that it's a hair dryer, like a full-blown hair dryer, as well as a curling iron. So if I'm ever traveling, I only need to bring this one device for those two tools, which is amazing. The price of this, I find $150. It's pretty pricey, I'm not gonna lie. But I think so far, I've gotten really good use out of it, and I think it's a great investment, and my hair is just, you know, the fact that I can style it so quickly and then not have to style it for days is just amazing. I find it takes me anywhere between 15 to 25 minutes, usually like 20 minutes being the average, which is pretty quick for me because, like I said, I typically have to blow dry and then curl. Oh, another con is the steam or the smoke. I'm not sure, like this is my 4th or 5th time using it, and I'm still seeing a bit of smoke in the room. Now, this isn't a very well ventilated room whenever I'm recording. I do have my fan off, you know, because I don't want the sound of it or any of it messing with my studio equipment, and I do have the door closed. So whenever you use this, I mean, naturally, whenever I'm using it, I'm in the bathroom and I have the door open or like my fan going or something, and it doesn't get as smoky, I don't think, but it does definitely get a little bit steamy, a little bit smoky. So that's something to keep in mind. I'm not quite sure if it's because my device is faulty or because it is that heat coating or that protective coating. I'm really hoping it's just the protective coating and that this thing lasts me for a while because I really do enjoy it. I would highly recommend it, honestly. I think that it's great. I love this so far, especially for the price point versus the Dyson. I think this will hold me over until I really decide if I want a Dyson, but honestly, I'm not thinking I'm gonna need one now. Like, this is essentially doing the same thing that I want the Dyson to do. Unless I want all those attachments in one, maybe, but $600, that's a lot. That's a lot. So I would recommend this. I do think that it is a great product to use in lieu of a Dyson Airwrap. If you guys want to see more like short form videos of me reviewing things, go check out my TikTok. I do post on there sometimes before I post on YouTube, just to do like first impressions or something like that, you know, or just like quick form videos in general. So if you're on there, I would love if you followed me. I'm also on Instagram. I do have 2 pages, my influencer content as well as my product photography business. I do that full time, so I am a commercial photographer. If you're interested in seeing some lovely photos and behind the scenes reels, you can check me out on there. But that's everything that I wanted to cover on this specific device. If you guys have any questions for me, if I miss anything, please feel free to leave them in the comments down below for me so I can answer those. And I hope you found this video informative. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this one. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!